Hello fella, meet Vivo X50 Pro. We had many questions to this phone, so tried to make its review as informative as possible, although quite a big one. Will it be a nice present or yet another gimmick model? Welcome to Tech Fellas, my name is Bogdan, and let's take into it. I'll be short in regards to its look. The main build's material is glass. The metal is also present as the base of the phone and can be seen at the frame and both of its ends. The glass on the back is matte with a wonderful looking shimmering finish and velvety feelings on touch. The front, by the way, is covered with a protective film that you get straight out the box. What you don't get is a headphone jack, a wireless charging, as well as no IP rating certification. My point of view is that such protection and Qi charging are nice to have features, but not must to have. For instance, OnePlus smartphones users easily lived without them for a long time. What's definitely a thumbs up is the NFC that BBK tenderly set inside. Not less important thing is an in-screen fingerprint reader that works nicely and is snappy enough. It's not light and fast, but quite pleasing. As an alternative for doing less movements with your fingers, you can use face recognition that works by means of the front camera. The overall build is pretty fine, there are no gaps or sloppy things on its body. In hands it feels comfortable and lays confidently, probably because of the semi-waterfall glass. The screen in total brought mostly positive emotions. It is 6.56 inches AMOLED with 2376 by 1080 resolution. Its first feature is 90 Hz refresh rate. The second one is a small front camera hole punch. It's really tiny. The world spent too much time bothering with gigantic notches and other insertions, so frankly, I like the decision of the company. In screen settings, you can reduce PWM and of course, find the color correction. As for the colors of the display and the experience from using it, long story short, it's pretty good and doesn't eat out your eyes even after a long time watching a movie or surfing the internet. And we did it! Hours of YouTube, whole lot of kilometers in car navigator, dozens of fights in World Tanks Blitz, and 1000 messages in social media. I think even for 3 men in our team that will be too much. In settings, you're able to turn on always on display. Besides, this feature here is highly customizable. Among the settings that you can change there are colors, the font style, the overall look, and even setting the picture. Next goes multimedia, starting with how the smartphone sounds through headphones. I'm not happy about the fashion of getting rid of headphone jack, however I was impressed that the phone didn't let us down regarding the sound, mainly thanks to a DAC unit that Vivo placed inside X50 Pro. More precisely, it is a K4377A model. Thanks to it, the smartphone sounds more rich through headphones than it was expected. Both low and middle frequencies are audible enough, the biting highs are clamped. In general, for me, it is almost the perfect sound from a non-audiophile device. If you're a true hi-fi enthusiast and are not lazy to carry a special adapter for headphones, just know that this smartphone can give you a little bit more than a regular one, especially with nice earbuds. As for the sound from speakers, I've got one good and one bad news for ya. The bad thing is that I said speakers, but should have said the lonely bottom speaker, as there is no stereo pairing here. The good news is that Vivo X50 Pro doesn't give a damn about it and sings loudly, so you will hear the call even in a noisy place. Okay, the part that gives the most questions about this phone is about cameras. The easiest one to start with is a front camera. Throughout a couple of weeks of use, this unit has never let me down. If the photos sometimes might not be the best in sharpness, anyway, in most of the cases the selfie camera will please you with colors, details and a dynamic range. Photos taken on the main camera in total also do not disappoint. Pics are usually very decent, results of macro shooting and the process itself is just wonderful. Close-ups and kinda regular shots taken on the main module are really pleasing to the eye. Obviously the pics you shoot on the ultra-wide camera bow to the main one in details. And in terms of colors, additional modules do not always match the picture from the wide-angle camera perfectly, but still look very nice. I understand that you would like to see as many examples as possible, so let's make this part slightly longer with my words, as we have a lot of photos to share. In general, I have no serious complaints about the outcoming results. Say, if you are really into photoblogging, you will find this set of cameras a worthy discovery. Now check the evening and night photos. Here I was honestly surprised. Unless the pics are excellent, they are at least very good. Shooting on additional modules during the dark might not be the bad idea at all, so I will suggest experimenting. The only major weak spot of X50 Pro in night photos is a poorly set white balance sometimes. As for the rest, only an eagle eye will complain about it. Now check out videos. Vivo X50 Pro takes them up to 4K 60 FPS. What you see right now on your screen is an example of super stabilization mode. In my opinion, that's a complete bummer. Just turn this abomination off and we get a nice looking clip with adequate stabilization. Now I'm happy. As you can see, Vivo's proprietary stabilizing technology works always and not only in a super stabilization mode. Who wanted some nighttime video shooting? Here the lack of light is again the top problem, but in total the clips still turned out to be great. Not every flagship of 2020 will take night videos with such a quality. Long story short, at night, make sure you have as many light sources as possible. The performance of this phone is rolling around Snapdragon 765G chipset. The responsible for graphics here is Adreno 620. The smartphone has 8 gigs of RAM of LPDDR4X format. The storage type is UFS 2.1. There are 256 gigs in our sample. In real-life conditions, I have never experienced the lack of its efficiency, except for one scenario. When downloading content both on a smartphone and from it via cable, it goes really slowly. How important is that for you? Why won't you drop me a line about that in the comment section? In all other aspects, the device rocks absolutely any tasks without explicit slowdowns or something like that. No problems with heavy games too. For example, World of Tanks bleeds on the maximum graphics and with a full set of effects gives on average 50-60 frames, which drops down to 35 at the moments of epic fights. This is very good, I must say. It is also nice that we can see such numbers in the first fights as well as after 10 or 15 runs. Regarding the throttling, it is present of course, but within adequate terms. What's even more important, even a seriously warmed up smartphone after a couple of hours of gaming and with less than a third of its battery charge doesn't become wildly dumb. Take a look at results of benchmark tests that we rolled on Vivo X50 Pro. Put on pause if you need to dig deeper, and we are moving to the battery life. The phone has 4315 mAh battery. If you're an active user, the device will secure a day for those who like to get lost in games or movies and use a camera sometimes. If you're a tender with a charge, you can easily expect 2 days of its work. Now, how fast will it discharge? Our tests have shown that 1 hour of playing World of Tanks on it eats 24% of the battery. 1 hour of watching YouTube in Full HD under medium brightness will take 7%. The maximum brightness in the same activity takes 10%. And finally, 1 hour with navigation ate 13% of the charge. What about the opposite value? Using the native adapter for half an hour, as you see on the screen, will give you 67% of the battery charge, and to get 100 you'll have to use power supply for 58 minutes. Before the conclusions, a couple of words about the firmware shell from Vivo that is called FuntouchOS. Did we get a lot of fun from scrolling menus throughout the home screen, functions of drop-down bar and settings? Not really. The system has some witty chips that differ it from other shells, but overall we didn't find anything groundbreaking that will seduce us for speaking about it for 5 minutes. The solid thing is that the firmware works snappy and helps to get and manage all tasks a regular user requires. Summarizing the stuff, X50 Pro is a very cozy smartphone. It lays comfortably in hand, my eyes are pleased with its screen and especially with the results of photo shooting. In addition, at the end of the busy day you won't need to speed up to plug it to the charger, cause instead of 3% of the battery, it will likely to leave you 10 or even 20. But it's not an ideal device, the hardware here is not the top notch, the phone hasn't got neither wireless charging nor any waterproof certification. I'm actually not giving a damn about about it at all, as well as got rid of headphone jack and a stereo pair for more decent sound. Besides, it costs 800 to 900 bucks, so you will have to question your willingness to pay so much for the things I mentioned before. That's all about Vivo X50 Pro, a highly pleasant phone with not less higher price, and the drawbacks that will appear only if you wish to see them. These were our thoughts about this phone. What are yours? Don't be shy to drop a line in the comment section. Also, in the description box below you will find the links to the internet stores where you can buy this guy, and if you like this video, then why not to support our channel by subscribing to it, hitting the like button, ringing the bell to stay tuned for more cool content. My thanks for watching, and cheers!